Hi and Assalamualaikum. I am Faiha from Unit 10. Will present the Crisis Management for Corporate Communication Management course. Before that, I would like to express my gratitude to my lecturer, Mrs. Shahnaz Shaviza binti Sabri, for giving me this opportunity. The case present is the crisis management of Coca-Cola Company during its crisis in Belgium in the mid of 1999. A gas leak put people's life at risk. A CEO post something racist online. Products had caused illness to people. Perhaps an audit reveals financial problem. A crisis is any situation, large or small, internal or external, that poses a threat to public health or the company's reputation or financial viability. Sometimes these situations become major media events. Other times they may not even generate a ripple outside of the company itself. By its nature, a company crisis isn't something you can predict or necessarily prevent. But what companies can control is how they respond once crisis hits. Crisis management is recognizing threat to an organization and its stakeholders, and the approach the organization uses to handle these threats. How a company responds can either make an already bad situation worse or minimize negative consequences and facilitate a return to normal. An ideal response may even turn a crisis around, winning an organization greater trust and loyalty. Before we get into the crisis, here is a brief information of Coca-Cola Company. The Coca-Cola Company is an American multinational beverage corporation under Delaware's General Corporation Law. Coca-Cola is making, retailing, and distributing non-alcoholic beverage concentrate and syrups. It produced Coca-Cola, which invented by a pharmacist named John Stitt Pemberton in 1886. In 1889, the receipt and the brand was sold for $2,300 to Asa Grace Candler, which incorporated the Coca-Cola Company in Atlanta in 1892. The Coca-Cola has made history of over 130 years and a presence in more than 200 countries. Meanwhile, in 1927, Gustav van Gansen purchased a license to manufacture and bottle Coca-Cola products in Belgium. Today, more than 90 years later, Coca-Cola hires more than 2,400 people in Belgium and Luxembourg. Moving on to the crisis that happened in Belgium in the mid of 1999. This happened in mid-1999 involving Coca-Cola in Europe, specifically in Belgium. Started where consumers complained about unusual odor and taste in bottled product. Moreover, more than 100 students from 6 schools got ill. The students experienced pain, vomiting, and shivering after consuming the drinks, resulting in their hospitalization. The Belgian Ministry of Health ordered the removal of Coca-Cola branded products from the Belgian market and cautioned Belgians not to consume any Coca-Cola brands in their houses. The whole warehouse of Coca-Cola's product in Belgium was restricted from selling for the first time. In its 113 years existence, Coca-Cola had to recall nearly 15 million cans and bottles, the greatest ever product recall. Later on, the selling of Coca-Cola products were also forbidden by France, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. This is the clippings of the news. The both pictures show the clearance process of Coca-Cola products from the Belgian market and warehouse. To be more clear, I will explain the key events of the crisis in crisis dynamics figure. The first stage is warning stage, where consumers complain about unusual odor and taste in bottled products. The next stage is point of no return. More than 100 students from 6 schools experienced pain, nausea, vomiting, and shivering after consuming the drinks, resulting in their hospitalization. The next stage is clean-up stage. On 16 June 1999, Coca-Cola recalled nearly 50 million cans and bottles as ordered by the Belgian Ministry of Health. The Belgians had been advised not to consume any Coca-Cola brands in their houses. Coca-Cola's product in Belgium was restricted from selling for the first time. Okay. The final stage is return to normal stage. On 22nd June 1999, the Belgian Health Ministry lifted its ban on Coca-Cola products, except for those products sold in vending machines waiting for final subsequent review, on the requirement that Coca-Cola use fresh raw materials, clean the plants, improve existing safety measures, and take further action. Moving on to the next part is crisis communication analysis planning. During the crisis, what Coca-Cola did to overcome the crisis? What Coca-Cola Company did to overcome this crisis was the company found two very particular manufacturing and distribution issues which were the reason to the crisis. The company found two matters that obviously contributed to quality breakdowns. The first one was some customers complained of an irregular taste and smell in bottles products. In the second, more than 100 customers become ill after reporting unpleasant odors on the outside of the canned products. Symptoms of recorded illness were severe enough to lead to the students' hospitalization in some cases. The next one was the company made the massive product recall. On 14 June 1999, Coca-Cola, in cooperation with the Belgian Ministry of Health, withdrew its 15 million cans and bottles from the store. This ban had cost Coca-Cola more than $200 million in expense and lost profits, as well as caused the damage to the brand image of the trademark products of the Coca-Cola Company. The next one was the CEO Ivester apologized to the Belgian government and to the consumer. In newspaper and the broadcast advertisement, Ivester was deeply sorry for the inconvenience. The next one was the company taking measures to fix these issues. The Coca-Cola Company replied with its first public statement a week after the confirmed illnesses. Coca-Cola Chairman and CEO Doug Ivester clarified that immediately after receiving the order of the Belgian Ministry of Health to ban products of Coca-Cola, the company began to restart production of high-quality products while keeping the efforts to destroy all existing products, as ordered by the Belgian authorities. The next one is to restoring public confidence and trust by being open and informative. In another statement, Ivester announced, "We respect the Ministry obligation to the people in these times of deep sensitivity to public health issues. Nothing is more important than protecting the public health, and we have worked very closely and intensively with the Ministry, providing significant amounts of information, confirming complete confidence in the safety of our products and packages." Okay. The last one was aggressive advertising to bolster the brand. In mid-July, Ivester and James Chestnut, CFO of Coca-Cola, met with 100 analysts to consult them on Coca-Cola Company market, the Belgian issues, and the world economic conditions. Ivester publicly stated that Coca-Cola Company has launched an aggressive advertising campaign in Europe to build consumer confidence. From this crisis, Coca-Cola did experience both tangible and intangible losses. The tangible loss is that Coca-Cola need to bear the cost for the efforts to recover and destroy all existing products as had been ordered by the Belgian government. The estimated expenses cost more than $200 million and losing revenue. Meanwhile, for the intangible loss, the crisis had caused damage to the brand value and image of the Coca-Cola Company's trademark product. Here is some of the suggestions for improvement, recommendation, and learning aspects to help manage a crisis effectively. The first one is to be ready to recognize a crisis. Overconfidence can lead to an oversight of an important problem or issue. The result of overconfidence is that the issue can trigger a major public relations crisis later, or costing the company millions of dollars in earnings. The second one is to respond quickly and decisively. To be learned in Coca-Cola crisis, once the conflict started, it took company executives several days to make the issue as top priority. According to some analysts, Coca-Cola stumbled frequently, worsening the situation. For example, customers received an apology more than a week after the first news reports of the disease. It took 10 days after the first child get hospitalized when the top executive arrived in Belgium. Today, even a small internal crisis can hit social media and quickly get out of hand. The longer a crisis persists, the stronger the negative impression it's likely to make, and the longer it will disrupt normal business operations. Don't wait for the sky to fall. Fast, effective responses depend on proper planning and preparation before a crisis occurs. Taking quick, decisive action at the start of a crisis will help guide and protect everyone affected. In a crisis, people look for answers and guidance. Ensure the visibility of a strong business leader. Having someone in a position of authority who can step into the limelight positions a person as a source of information for the media and for those affected by the crisis. Then communicate early and often with the internal and external stakeholders. Communication is vital for rebuilding trust and heading off rumors and panic. The CEO make an apology to the public and announce any related matters. Next, during crisis, company need always to be clear and informative. Avoid focusing only the technical aspects of a problem. Consider public perception too and monitor what's happening in the media. Coca-Cola had been informative to the consumers about the cleaning progress and always update the progress from time to time. And finally, prioritize trust over other concerns. In a crisis, trust whether among staff or customers is key to an organization's reputation and to sustain company's long-term survival. Maintaining brand recognition is important. Brand image is created in customers' mind and convince them that brands have value-added components beyond the products provided by other competitors. In conclusion, any company regardless of size can run into crises affecting its normal flow of operations. Crises such as an error in manufacturing process, a CEO's death, terrorist attacks, data breach, system down, or natural disaster can contribute to a company's tangible and intangible losses, such as a losses of revenue, customers, and a reduction in net income. Businesses that set up a contingency plans for unforeseen crises will minimize any negative events impact. When the company knows what they are dealing with in terms of potential threats and effects, the crisis management team creates a strategy to contain any emergency if it becomes reality. Even though business could slow down for a period of time as the organization needs to re-establish the normal operation, the company and its stakeholders will plan and react quickly to the unpredictable crisis by providing a crisis solution.